Hey guys, camcorder here again, just doing another quick video review. This time it's a bit of a retro review, and I'm doing a toy review for the Hot Toys 4-inch Snap Kit figures based on the AVP movie. Now this one is one of the figures from the first wave. They did two waves. The first wave comprised of the Celtic Predator, the Chopper Predator, Scar Predator. I think there was an Elder Predator, I might be wrong, but there was an alien, Battle Alien I think it was called, and then there was Grid Alien, which was the one, the hero, so-called hero alien, and there was I think a clear version, cloaked version of one of the Predators as well. And then in wave 2 what they did was they had a second wave that had a kind of build-a-figure gimmick going on, and it was a build-a-queen, so you had to collect all the figures just to build a giant scale in pretty much 1 to 18 scale queen that would fit the scale of the Predators. And in that wave you got the Elder Predator, the Scar Predator again. You got three versions of Scar Predator. One was semi-cloaked, one had the chest burster, one was a normal version of him, and then you got the Elder Predator, and then an extra, just two versions of the Alien Warrior in kind of black, whereas in previous wave they had brown versions. One was kind of a brown, the other one was a black. So having a look at this guy, this is the Celtic Predator. As you can see, I'll just bring his mask in. The mask does fit on his head, but they do have a tendency of popping off. You have to get it pressed in properly, and it should stay on. But I've been having a little bit of trouble trying to get it on. What I did with my previous ones was I actually put a small bit of blue tack just at the top of the mask. And as you can see, if I can just zoom in onto the Predator's mask without it losing focus, that's the Celtic Predator mask, which is one of my favourite designs from the AVP films. It's based on an old Predator design from the Predator 2 movie, from one of the Lost Tribe, which is one of the reasons why I like it. If I just zoom back out, I have all the gear that comes with the Predators on the table. Now, just to note, some of the gear didn't come with this guy. I just used, since I have all the figures, I used all the gear that I have just so you can see the difference, some of the differences between them. So, one of the main differences between, his mask popped off, I'll just leave it off. One of the main differences between Celtic and the other Predators is Celtic has this net launcher built onto his wrist, which he used in the movie instead of the twin blades. And as you can see from the mask, now as far as I know, the head on this one, because I have so many of these figures, I got multiple sets. This is actually the head of the Scar Predator. The normal Celtic Predator head doesn't have the Predator scar and is a little bit less detailed. I just chose to use the Scar Predator's head because it looks a bit better, but the rest of all the parts on them are identical. So he does come with a knife holster for his knife, which you can see there. It just slides straight into the holster. The holster is removable as well. Or sorry, the sheath for the knife is removable. They do have some good articulation. They're mostly comprised of built of ball joints. So you got ball joints in the shoulders, ball joints in the wrists. The reason they're called snap kits is that when you get them, they're in parts and you have to snap them together. There's two joints on the torso itself. You got a waist joint down here, and you have an upper chest joint. Again, they're all ball jointed. On some of the Predators, it has this armor piece, and they have a similar armor piece going on to the front. Mostly I think it's Scar Predator has that armor piece going down, the extra armor piece going down the front. Legs are on ball joints. They can go forwards, backwards. They're a small bit hindered by the skirt, and they have almost double knee joints. and they stand fairly well. Sometimes it takes a little bit of trying to get them into a decent standing position, but they do stand pretty well. They come with a little string with a bit of trophy rack on them. They also have the plasma casters. Now the thing with the plasma casters is that because of the way the hair is sculpted, it's sort of two solid clumps. You actually have to position it in such a way that the bar for the plasma caster comes up over the gap in the hair. And when you put the mask on, it kind of, as I said, masks are a slight bit problematic. It takes a little bit of trying for them to be stuck on. And of course it doesn't want to stay on while I'm doing this review. So let's see if I can get it to stay on. Takes a little bit of pressure, hopefully that does it. And there goes the arm. Said they're just mainly comprised of ball joints, so it's pieces tend to pop off every now and again on them, but you just easily click them back in. And the tip of the plasma caster is on a swivel, so you can actually swivel it for the way that you want them to look. Now the other thing on this guy is he comes with the blades. These are mainly used by Chopper Predator, hence his name, because he had the two giant blades that went down underneath his under his arms. But because all these guys share the same molding, they basically gave them all the same weapons. Left arm just doesn't want to stay on, does it? But as you can see, here he has his blades, and again you can position them in different ways. The hands are on swivels as well. They actually are on ball joints, but when you pop them in, you can't really utilise the ball socket joint that much, so they mostly become a swivel joint. And the same with the feet. The feet are on kind of, you can pivot them and you can turn them, but mostly it's for the pivoting. So the other weapons that he comes with is, in the very first wave they came with these, but they didn't come with the other versions. They came with the unextended version of the staff, the spear, and the second wave guys came with an extended version of the spear, which, because of the way the hands are molded, they can't really hold them too well. You can get them to kind of slightly hold it, but again, they just tend to slide through the hand. So on the unextended version there is actually a small peg hole, and on the back of where the plasma caster goes on. Now the plasma casters are separate pieces as well, so they do come off, and when you plug in the plasma caster, we can just get the peg hold on it, and again there goes that right arm, so I'm just going to leave it off, sorry, left arm, and the mask. There is a hole that this can be pushed into, and it should stay on it. And again, as I said, his arm is wanting to drop off all the time at the moment. I said some of them, as I had these guys for quite a while, some of the joints on them have come loose over time. So you got him with his plasma caster, his spear, and they also come with the throwing blade. Now if you look at the detail on him, he actually has a throwing blade just there on his belt, which is enclosed, but you also get the opened version of it, and you can sort of wedge it into his hands so he can hold it. We can just do it there. There we go. You can sort of hold it in his hand, and let me see if I can get the mask back on him. Guaranteed everything will start popping off him, but as I said, they're more kind of designed for collectors than for playing with, but I do enjoy these guys, since at the time they're the only 3 3/4 inch scale Predators. I know Funko have done a wave of basic Predators, but these ones are, if you want something a little bit more articulated without having to customize, then this is the way to go. You can still find these on eBay. The only problem is some of them will some of the full sets can cost you a pretty penny. They're almost nearly on par with the same pricing as Hot Toys 1 to 6 scale Predators, which are, if you wanted a single figure with amazing detail, you go for that. Whereas these guys are, for the type of figure they are quite detailed, but they are a little bit finicky and fragile in places. So there you go. It's just a quick video review of these Hot Toys 4-inch snap kit Predators. I said I was going to try and do a few retro reviews, so hopefully this will be the first one, and I'll try and get more up and running as I go along. Hope you enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching.